like a lot of the ideas that came from over there are starting to get into the other regions as we're seeing more Ulgrim and Kaya, even after Kaya kind of falling out of popularity from most competitions.
Yeah, and I mean, we're starting off with game 1 here, and I think, you know, kind of the fun part about watching this for me is actually seeing the megD Onyx, right? Just not something you get to see all the time, realistically, right?
Yeah.
But Flower, on the other hand, I think no one's too surprised to see Flower on the Kaya. Always probably going to be on a bow legend.
Yeah,
so.
I wish, I kind of like look at it and go like, I wish he had the Jakey mentality of like, I'm going to play my main until it gets really bad, and then I'll pick the meta character. But no, he's starting out with the Kaya. I think that makes sense. Yumiko, very, very different in terms of like, I mean, we talked about like with Azos signatures yesterday,
yeah,
right? It's
exactly.
like, what are your signatures doing for the team? You're kind of just cornering yourself. Azos kind of does the same thing. Flower gets into the right side. megD gets hit by the neutral sig from BalloonBoy.
Nice.
Went for the recovery there to get the finishing blow and goes for another recovery here on megD.
Yeah, BalloonBoy's pressure is pretty relentless. Does a really good job of just getting under his opponents and then throwing out that recovery on the gauntlets to go ahead and pop them up, maybe potentially get a knockout. But really just has the discipline to just pull the trigger. It's just really hard to get punished, especially in 2s for just kind of going for that option. But there we go. I mean, nice. A slight lead for BalloonBoy and Raydish, and they're looking to extend it. A nice D-like ground pound from megD that was going to bring things a little bit closer to even, but they still need to get this first dog off BalloonBoy.
Yeah, I was enjoying how Raydish and BalloonBoy were looking for those small hits, Saren and air, into another side air. Nice. Little things like that, right? Where like BalloonBoy passes with a bow side air, Raydish gets the unarmed air. And it's like, that's as much as they're going to get, but that's more damage than they would have gotten otherwise if he wasn't looking for it. And BalloonBoy still on one stock, or on his first stock here, gets that recovery, disarms Flower. Flower hurting quite badly here in this game 1. Yeah,
this is kind of sad to see. I mean, BalloonBoy is hanging on. This neutralize going to bounce off the stage, so BalloonBoy still going to have this first stock. Gets back on with an aggressive side air. Raydish comes in with that neutral sig of his own. BalloonBoy gets maybe another stock here. Gets the turnaround with the sig as well on the neutral sig. And looks like Raydish going to clean up that stock on the right side. BalloonBoy still has all 3 stocks.
I can't highlight how awesome that play from BalloonBoy was because he feinted going out for the edge guard.
Yes.
And then pivoted the end sig to keep his teammate away from the save. And like, what's better than the Zariel Ensig where you're like grabbed in the air before getting spiked? Finally, BalloonBoy goes down. But Raydish is fighting the 1v2 and gets the down sig on the dodge in.
Yeah, this is starting to look, I mean, not starting to look, it's been looking really bad here. I mean, the saving grace that Raydish is also pretty beat up here. So this game is actually closer than it seems. BalloonBoy has just had a lot of vitality, but there we go. Raydish gets sent down to his final stock. And really, I think it's going to be a story of how quickly can Flower and megD tear through Raydish's final stock, because otherwise I think getting BalloonBoy down will take too long.
Oh, both players on the left side of the stage. Nair into...
Nice.
Okay, neutral into recovery from Raydish. I like that, just to be able to keep him away from Flower, or from megD, who was on the bottom of the stage.
Yeah, and you can see BalloonBoy is playing much more aggressively now, right? Raydish is on the back, kind of waiting for these passes from BalloonBoy. Hasn't taken too much damage. Flower is in the danger zone, and that might be it, and it is. The light side air, the weapon throw is going to go ahead and push megD a little bit further, and he tries to stomp him, but I don't even know if he got hit by the down sig, and then scooped by the neutral sig from BalloonBoy.
I think that's exactly what happened. I think the down sig hit, and he got grabbed up by the end sig, and then spiked underneath the map, but then bounced off the bottom of the map.
That's brutal.
That's like the one way you can actually get spiked by Zariel Ensig. Let's see if that happens.
Yeah, gets smacked into the corner, right?
Yeah, let's fully get that replay. That was
and then here.
Wow, what was that? So they got, and megD actually did a pretty good job recovering despite all of the things that happened. Yeah.
Okay.
Got down sigged into Ensig, bounced off the Ensig into the bottom of the stage to get spiked by Zariel Ensig. The first time that ever happened.
Good coverage, right?
Wow.
You know, and I think the timing there you got to give some respect to, because BalloonBoy doesn't get hit by the Red Raptor stomp, right?
Oh,
to go ahead and go for that. So that means the timing had to be like pretty tight there.
That's insane, actually. Wow. Yeah, because
that's crazy.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think about how it didn't happen. It was because if he was going to actually scoop him out of the knockback, it was because he was too low to get hit.
Right.
And then Zara like jumps up. Wow. Really cool highlight. All right, well, game 2. See if Flower and megD can show some signs of life, because that was pretty dominant. BalloonBoy is playing on another level than everybody else on the screen, not trying to take things away from Raydish either. He's playing well as a teammate, but BalloonBoy was looking untouchable last game, so megD is trying to put some damage onto him to compensate.
Yeah, no, I think, you know, this time around it's looking much better for megD and Flower, at least as far as damage goes. They're able to keep things relatively even here. I think Raydish and BalloonBoy do such a good job playing off of each other. That's going to be a pass that gets interrupted by a downer from megD. megD on this Onyx, which, you know, I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier before, but haven't really given much time to actually see, like, how he's able to kind of hang with the rest of the players with the Onyx, and so far I think he's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, I got a good combo to start with BalloonBoy. Could get an edge guard here on a Raydish. Gets the down air, no jumps back, so he's gone. Weapon throw, doesn't get the pick up ground pound afterwards, and the falling Nair gets punished by the down signature, catching him on either side, seeing them both flying. Flower goes down. megD doesn't because Onyx's defense, but it was still great damage and great response to, I think, what was supposed to be a landing end light.
Yes.
Ended up being a Nair that was used too soon.
Exactly, and that kind of is unfortunate, right? And you end up losing one of your stocks for it. And at this point, we're getting a bit of the same tale where it's like they really can't seem to get BalloonBoy. That's going to be a couple hits. Can they get the stock? Oh, what a turnaround! So close to the left blast
was a fresh
zone.
Onyx
That was like yellow, like bright yellow. Oh man!
Flower went down right afterwards.
Wow.
Oh. How did that happen? This game was looking so much better, and then BalloonBoy off stage. I mean, that's Raydish and BalloonBoy's combos, I guess. It's one of the scary things about Boots is that I like to say that Boots is the active input that says, do you want to go far or further?
Yeah.
And so like you saw that as they just carried megD up the stage. It doesn't matter if you have 0 damage if you have to travel with your opponent. And BalloonBoy finally gets shut down.
Everyone's getting
Raydish,
cooked.
no way.
Oh, I love the extension for the Nair there from Raydish, recognizing that if he just went for the side there, wasn't going to KO. The save's going to happen there, and now it's a 2v1 for megD. This isn't happening. We're going to a game 3, but so far, I don't know how megD and Flower come back from this. I mean, I feel like this game 2 in particular pretty much was lost as a result of losing some early stocks, right? But that's the power of legends like Red Raptor and he hit him too.
He got the knockout credit. Wow, BalloonBoy's incredible. I'm watching him play and I'm going, this is
BalloonBoy's cooking,
really
but also
good.
Raydish is comboing 2 people of the enemy team at the same time. You know, it's like it's tough, and like, you know, both Zerial and Red Raptor have these side sigs that just like scoop you all the way to the side, right? And so it's like, even if you are,
here. Was that dare? That's great.
Jesus Christ, yeah, that's. Whew.
Some cool highlights to be able to end these stocks. They're going for it.
They're kind of clip farming Flower and megD.
I mean, Onyx lost their stock in yellow, so whatever that means.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to put some more attention on the Raydish because BalloonBoy keeps stealing the show from me. But you are right. Raydish is playing pretty phenomenally. It's just like BalloonBoy is getting shut down on 1 stock a game, 2 games in a row. And it's just kind of stealing the show for me.
Which, you know, it's nice, right? Because it means they're putting a lot of focus onto Raydish, I think, and then BalloonBoy's there to go ahead and pick up the passes. And he's so good at it, right? And then moments like that, Raydish will pop right in once BalloonBoy's getting hit to kind of mitigate the amount of damage you take. So they kind of extend the length of both of their lives pretty efficiently here. And there's BalloonBoy with another punch with that end light. megD getting a turnaround here. They need to have a lead in this game number 3 to be able to have any sort of semblance of coming back in this set, I think. They've not had that chance, and a miscommunication error there between Flower and megD kind of robbed them of potentially getting a double knockout. Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it looks like that was like a commitment after that side light. Like Flower's like, I'm always going to neutral sig here.
Yeah.
And megD just ended up being caught in the crossfire. Nice team combo on the Flower, neutral into the down sig. And the down sig covered megD trying to save. Nice job going for the Nair there. BalloonBoy tried to catch the landing, but megD does a falling side air.
Yeah, that one was hard for me because I think BalloonBoy was positioning for a pivot side air, right? Because normally that's what Raydish would go for there, but instead he pushed him further off the side, so BalloonBoy's kind of like, oh, okay, I guess I could like try to convert this to an edge guard. But either way, I mean, still pretty hefty lead for the red team here. megD and Flower can't get the knockouts,
They're like still winning these neutral exchanges despite being so damaged. Look at that side air to down air. BalloonBoy almost getting the ground pound. Raydish finally goes down. Neutral light will clear the board. Closest it's been so far, but that's not saying much.
I think the problem is that I'm not feeling from the blue team the level of explosiveness that is required, right? We are in the top 8, and this is what I'm talking about. Thank you so much, megD, because that is the power of Cannon in both singles and 2v2, but is that going to be enough? megD's going to lose a stock here, going to fall, and now we have a tied stock count. This is probably the closest that it's going to be for them here. Ooh, oh no, Flower, no!
Misses the jump on the Sair. and got stuck in the animation and just hits the blast zone, right? Because that was a jump stare to hit him for the missed ground pound.
Man.
And so right there, red team steals the lead away.
Just when you think you're getting some momentum.
I mean, megD could do it again. BalloonBoy used his dodge there. megD doesn't catch him, but Raydish looks vulnerable. BalloonBoy getting the juggles.
But megD's all the way over there. You got Kundin brother, yeah. They're separated.
Down sig here.
And BalloonBoy is gonna get the recovery. Nice side light from Flower to interrupt that. No, I think that made sense.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean at the very least he had to stop the potential pass from the recovery, so he had to throw out the first move, and then he just went for a read afterward to try to maximize damage.
Oh, and BalloonBoy gets the weapon throw. I mean, that might be it for megD's stock.
All right, that was not the best ground pound. Oh, but he gets stage spiked off the corner.
Wait,
now
what did
Flower
he
has to
stage spike
2v1.
him with? What set him to the right there so hard? Was that side sig? I have to see that replay.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Jeez.
Dang. GG.
Okay.
Oof.
676 damage from BalloonBoy.
Not gonna lie, that one looked tough. I mean, megD had that one little highlight moment that Cannon does sometimes.
Yeah, keep in mind, Raydish didn't play for a stock that game, and it still didn't really matter. I want to see what BalloonBoy got the knockout with on megD, because it looked too quick to be a gravity cancel side sig.
Comes down, misses
oh yeah,
it.
see, there was the missing jump
yeah.
there.